Welcome to Ryan Watches a Movie. My name's Adam Patterson. With me today, we got Kevin Rakestraw. Hey, Kevin.
Hey, what's up?
Not a whole lot.
All
We're
right.
also joined by Ryan Holes. Hey, Ryan. If this is your first time tuning in, Kevin and I are challenging ourselves to find movies Ryan likes in the hopes that we'll reach a coveted 10 out of 10. You can join in on the conversation by sending your movie suggestions for Ryan to podcast at filmpulse.net or by sending me a DM on Twitter at filmpulsenet. Be sure to check out the Frederick's Ataxia Research Alliance website at curefa.org. Ryan, what movie did we have you watch this week?
Fever Pitch.
Fever Pitch. Now, you said that you wanted to see a soccer movie, so we picked Fever Pitch. This is the original Fever Pitch, not the 2005 one. This is the one.
It's not the one with Jimmy Fallon.
No, this isn't the Jimmy Fallon, Drew Barrymore Fever Pitch.
Do you remember that stretch during that time that they tried to make Jimmy Fallon a movie star?
Yeah, and he was in that like taxi movie with Queen Latifah.
That was fucking wild. Wild times.
I think it lasted for exactly 1 year and before they gave up on it. It was a very short-lived run for him after leaving SNL.
Truly.
I didn't realize it, but that Fever Pitch is actually a remake or an adaptation of the same novel that the 97 one is. I just thought that they coincidentally had the same name. But it's interesting though, right? Because Fever Pitch in the original 1997 one refers to the field, right? The pitch.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in the 2005 one, it refers to, because that's a baseball one. I think it's a Red Sox movie.
Yep. See?
Double meanings there.
See? Clever. Hollywood. Clever.
Yeah. I have a synopsis here. A sports fan's romantic courtship clashes with his obsession with his favorite football team. Ryan, tell us a little bit about Fever Pitch.
Well, I really thought I was gonna hate it.
Oh.
But then I found out it ended up Jimmy Fallon or Drew Barrymore stupid face. So I was happy. And then I found out it was all about my favorite soccer team. So I wasn't really into it. But I was happy that it was about them because not many movies are about them.
Right. So it's about Arsenal. So Colin Firth stars as this Arsenal super fan. He just loves Arsenal so much.
Loves those goddamn Gunners.
Loves those Gunners to death. The movie takes place during the 1989 season. Now, Ryan, I'm sure you were familiar with the 1989 season.
A little bit. I really didn't become a fan of them, Arsenal specifically, until actually made that return, watching a final with them in it, and they were gonna Goliath versus David, and they got destroyed. But I was pulling for the underdog, and ever since then I've liked that.
In 1989, they actually did win the FA Cup final against Liverpool. They had to beat them 2-0, and that's exactly what they got. This was the first time that they won since, I think, 1971. So it was an 18-year span there. So that's sort of the framing device of the movie. We have Colin Firth as this guy he's a teacher. He's an English teacher, and he falls for a new teacher that comes to his school, and they date for a while. He ends up getting her pregnant, and he's sort of struggling to balance his love for the Gunners and his love for his girlfriend, and he's trying to balance that and make it work.
Man. Wow.
It does lead to some really kind of interesting conversations. As far as like romantic comedies go, I don't think it's that bad. But Ryan, what did you think of Fever Pitch?
I was really indifferent. I didn't care either way. It wasn't.
Now, I
I
mean,
wasn't too bad of a romantic comedy.
I mean, the only reason that we even entertained this pick and ultimately picked it is because Colin Firth character is a huge Arsenal fan. Now, let's say that in this movie, he's not an Arsenal fan. He's more so a Man City fan. How would you feel about it? Would that change things for you?
I would have turned it off after 5 minutes.
Oh man, brutal. Oh,
So at the point where, like in the movie, if Colin Firth just popped out with like a Man City shirt on and he was like, big Man City fan, that's when you would have just hit the stop button, turned off the TV, wheeled, wheeled yourself out to the kitchen, had some EL fudges.
That's when I hit the delete button on iTunes.
Okay, so would that be just specific for a team that you're not a big fan of, like Man City or Man U, or would it be any other team? If it was any other team other than Arsenal?
I can handle like
Derby County,
weird team.
Sheffield Wednesday.
Any other good teams? No, I wouldn't like that.
So if it was like an underdog, like Preston North End, you would have been okay with it.
Yeah, it would have been alright with that.
Gotcha.
Cool. Okay.
I understand that. I get that.
I thought that it was pretty funny. There were a few moments that made me laugh. Did you find it to be funny at all, Ryan?
There were a few times where I laughed. Like they're kind of like throwaway on it. Like they don't mean much overall.
Yeah. The scene that made me laugh the most was when they were out to dinner and he was trying to tell her how he's grown up and he's matured, and all the while he is sticking the napkin, the cloth napkin, into the candle at the dinner table, and he lights it on fire, and then he can't get it out, and the waiter runs over and stomps on it to put it out, and he goes, "That's not a regular thing. I don't do that a lot." I thought that was probably the funniest moment in the movie. So you have Colin Firth in there, likable guy. He's a likable character in this. He's a cool teacher. And you also have Mark Strong in there, young Mark Strong, as like.
I also that added to the enjoyability because I like him.
Yeah, he's like the best friend character. He's pretty funny in this. He's good. Ruth Gemmell plays the love interest, the other teacher. I think her name's Sarah in the movie. All in all, I didn't think it was too bad. When we were looking for soccer movies for you, this was
a tough one.
It was a tough one, but interestingly, both Kevin and I separately picked this movie for you because when you look at the various lists online of top soccer movies, best soccer movies, this is always on the list near the top. And you've seen.
I didn't even know this existed. I wish man would have made a bigger deal out of this stupid Jimmy Fallon movie.
This is based on a Nick Hornby novel. I don't know if I said that or because Kevin and I were talking off the air about it. Based on a Nick Hornby novel. He's the guy who wrote like High Fidelity and About a Boy and Wild. I think he just wrote the screenplay for Wild. I don't know if that was a novel beforehand. He also did Juliet Naked. He's written a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I think High Fidelity is still my favorite of his, at least the movie adaptations. Still a big fan of High Fidelity, and you see a lot of that style in this movie too. Like music plays a really big part in this movie. There's a lot of very deliberate music cues.
There's a lot of different kind of music, and that kind of confused me.
Okay,
Cut you off guard.
Like some was real poppy, and some was like classical music. I don't know. It's very eclectic.
yeah, they mixed up the soundtrack. It wasn't. They used an actual soundtrack. It wasn't like a score. So lots of licensed music in here, and a lot of like it was mostly like Brit pop. Like there's a lot of like the Who and stuff in there.
Okay. Now, my question is, because, this all boiled down to Ryan wanted to see a soccer movie. And I take it because of Women's World Cup. Just Ryan is fiending.
There's a lot of soccer on right now.
You're just fiending for soccer action. So did this movie scratch that itch? Did it give you that sweet soccer action that you were craving?
Kinda, yeah.
Okay.
That's good.
It wasn't like violent or, I think of soccer as being like not violent, but action packed.
Yeah, there's really very little soccer being played in this movie. You see, so there's a flashback to like 1968 when he goes to his first match at Arsenal, and you see the players come out on the pitch, and that's pretty much all you see. Like you see some clips like when they're watching TV and stuff, and he coaches his school's soccer team, so you see them play a little bit, but they're like little kids. Mostly it's like shots in the stands. One interesting thing was because this takes place in 1989. This is the year that the Hillsborough disaster happened in Liverpool.
Okay.
I don't know.
That part I know about that. I enjoy reading about that or learning about that.
Yeah, there was a documentary made about this too. It was the horrible accident that happened when Liverpool was playing Nottingham Forest, I believe, at Hillsborough Stadium, and 96 people were killed. They were crushed, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But it is that story is really fascinating to see, like how many things went wrong for that to occur. And the documentary that came out a couple years ago is good. It was like, I don't remember, I don't know if it was like part of the 30 for 30 thing, but there was like a whole string of soccer documentaries that came out.
That one, there was the one I watched on fuck soccer or
Maybe,
fuck sports.
maybe that's what it was. There was like a whole bunch of soccer docs.
Yeah.
It was like a series, and they covered that in one of them. And it was really fascinating. Brian, do you have any final thoughts on this before we give you your drum roll?
No, I'm curious to see if other people listening watch this and what they think of it, because obviously I'm biased.
So you're putting the question out to the audience. If you're not a big Arsenal fan, like how do you feel about this movie?
Can you give two ratings? One as an Arsenal fan, and then if you detached yourself from your Arsenal fandom, what would you give it? Are you able to do that?
I mean, really though, you can replace Arsenal with pretty much any team. Like the fact that he likes Arsenal doesn't carry much weight on the movie, other than the fact that in that specific year they did make it to the final and they won. Like that's really...
But if you remember earlier in this exact same podcast, you can't change out the team.
I know.
Literally any team. If you put Man City in there, Ryan turns that shit
I
off
guess
5
so.
minutes in.
I guess so. So I guess for some people, the fact that it is Arsenal, it carries a lot more weight. Okay. I digress.
So I because I got to be honest. When we set out to pick a soccer movie, first off, it was very difficult because Ryan's seen a lot of them. There's not a lot of good soccer movies to begin with.
Right.
So the chances of us finding something that's going to be a 10 out of 10 was extremely difficult and, dare I say, impossible. So really, the reason we picked this one was because of the whole Arsenal angle, which I don't know how Adam felt, but I was a little bit worried coming in here.
Oh, I was majorly worried.
Because I don't know how much that was going to be able to, pull weight for him. Because I have a feeling that he's just not going to like this at all.
Yeah, I was very nervous about it. And it turned out that the movie was exactly how I expected it to be, where it was more of a romantic comedy with a soccer theme than it was a soccer movie. But
also, I guess did have Jimmy Fallon a more on it.
Okay, so that gets bonus points. Those were bonus points I didn't foresee.
Nice.
In a lot of ways, though, the interesting thing about the movie is that it does deal with soccer more in depth than I kind of thought. It more so takes a look at fandom and how passionate one can be when it comes to a specific team. And so, in a lot of ways, I think that soccer did play a really large portion in the movie, more so than just like a backdrop or an area for creating conflict between two people. All right, let's give you your drum roll, Ryan. What do you give Fever Pitch?
7.
7 out of 10.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, God's sake.
Oh,
I was
quick
gonna
change
say
up here.
Whoa.
Oh,
Was that did you go to,
No, in between what I'm thinking about.
did you go to VAR?
What you gonna say? Alright, I'll do that. 6.5.
6.5. Okay.
Jump the
All
gun
right.
off sides on Ryan.
Oh man. Okay, so you gave it a 6.5. Now, Kevin mentioned he wanted to hear a score taking Arsenal out of the equation. What would that score be if Arsenal wasn't the team?
Dang, Arsenal out. I feel like with Arsenal, and that was like an 8.
Oh, okay. So 6.5 with Arsenal out. It's 8 with Arsenal in.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy shit. I was not expecting an 8. You kidding me?
Arsenal is really, really important to me.
Did you see yourself in Colin Firth's character?
Are you Colin Firth?
If I lived over there and I went to games all the time, yeah, I'd be just like that.
I liked how he tried to weasel his way into getting that house that was like literally across the street from the stadium.
That would be fantastic.
And he's just like, the houses here are so cheap. That's all we can afford. We can only afford to live here. And she's like, what are you talking about? For those who are wondering, we did look at, I mean, Ryan has seen pretty much all other decent soccer movies. So like Football Factory and the like Hooligans movies, saw all of those and pretty much everything. Any of the ones that would be considered good, I think, like Mean Machine.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of like straight to DVD soccer movies.
Yeah, there's the Goal series. I don't know if you've seen any of those, Ryan.
Yeah, so, Mom.
All right. Well, I'm glad we didn't give you one of those. They look bad, so
I think we did. I think we did one of those for this show before, like during the World Cup or something. Okay.
Oh yeah, I seem to remember doing some soccer movie.
heard that the other ones aren't that good.
I don't know. What's the best soccer movie?
I don't know if there is one.
Hey folks, Adam here. I was doing the edit for this and I realized that we totally neglected to mention Shaolin Soccer, which is clearly the best soccer movie.
Oh, yeah, I'd say for me, probably a documentary style.
Yeah, it would have to be a documentary.
Well, I'm really
where I can learn stuff.
yeah. I'm really excited for the Maradona documentary that HBO is releasing. It premiered at Sundance and it's coming out in October. That is supposedly amazing. So I'm very excited for that.
Brian, my original pick for you was the Zinedine Zidane movie documentary.
I love him.
Oh man.
Yeah, we couldn't find it.
I want to see him headbutt somebody.
Well, it's an experimental doc, right? Where it's only one game, and I forget what game it was that like follows him, and it's just footage of him playing. That's it, and the camera focuses on him, no one else on the pitch.
I just want to know because I watched that live. I want to know exactly what was said to him.
I don't think that.
What would make you get a red card?
Oh, you mean that
final in the very last game we were playing?
Oh, you're talking about that one specific match.
No, I think wasn't it because that dude said like some really racist shit to him?
I think it was.
I think he was talking about his mom.
Yeah, I think he said like racist stuff about his mom or his sister or something. And he just fucking nailed him with his head, with his face.
That's.
And he knew it. Like for a split second, he was like, Do I go out my last game? Yep. And just fucking railed that guy. And
He's
then
like,
just
worth it. Worth it.
It's like, fuck, this is how I'm going out.
Oh, that's worth it. Somebody's talking trash about your family.
But someone would just be like, I retire.
That's just somewhere you don't go.
Yeah, the documentary looks interesting. I don't know if it's for you, Ryan, because there's no dialogue or anything. There's like no voiceover. It's just text on the screen. So like it's like subtitled with his thoughts, but they didn't like record him saying anything. So it's like literally just subtitles with no dialogue, and the camera is just completely focused on him the whole time. So you only see him. It's an interesting concept, but
it is an interesting, and I know that it doesn't seem like it would be for Ryan, but it was one of those things where I was feeling dangerous.
Yeah, I mean,
I wanted to give it a shot. I wanted to just see. I'm just curious.
If I could find it, I would have sent it to him, but I couldn't find it. Like, it doesn't look like any of the streaming services or anything have it. I couldn't find it anywhere.
Damn.
There were no other documentary isn't that good either.
That didn't look that good. The upcoming Maradona one is directed by Asif Kapadia, the guy who did Senna and Amy. So he's a big time documentary filmmaker.
Oh, sorry to go. I just remembered his document. We should have had him watch the one with the fluffy puppies.
You know, I thought I thought about that. Diamantino. I thought about that at first, but there's several things going against that movie for Ryan, specifically for Ryan. I think he would have hated that movie, even though it is definitely a soccer movie. It's subtitled. It's very weird.
You should have me watch Ladybugs.
Oh,
Ladybugs. That kid killed himself.
I seen him since I was like 5.
Thanks a lot, Adam.
Or the Big Green. Remember the Big Green?
Oh yeah, now that you said it, yeah.
I remember seeing that in the theater and being very disappointed because it had the kid from The Sandlot in it. So I was expecting The Sandlot, but just with soccer, and it was not that. All right, Ryan, any final thoughts before we end it out this week?
No.
One thing, just before we end here, just to clarify, what is the rating for this movie? What's the official Ryan Watches a Movie rating? Is it an 8?
I thought it was an 8.
I thought
Wait
it
a
was,
minute.
No,
Because you said it would be 6.5 if Arsenal wasn't in it, but Arsenal was in it. You said it was an 8 with Arsenal in it.
the backwards.
Well, backwards
What?
makes even less sense. It's 6.5 with Arsenal, 8
I'm so confused. That's
with
why
Arsenal. The movie as is with Arsenal in it. What's the score? Is it 6.5? Okay, final score 6.5. There we go.
he's getting sick and tired of it.
They was in my head.
Okay. Well, I thought an 8 seemed really strong, regardless.
That's why I was like completely blown away.
And 6.5 with Arsenal seems normal.
Mm-hmm.
So without Arsenal, it'd probably be something like a 4 or a 3.
Right.
Okay.
That's what I said wrong.
Okay.
Not
Got it.
backwards.
We'll mark that down. I think that's going to do it for this week. Thank you so much for listening. You can send us your picks for Ryan to podcast@filmpulse.net. You can follow us on Twitter @filmpulsenet, @filmpulsekevin, and @mylegsdon'twork. And if you have a minute, take a look at our Patreon page, patreon.com/filmpulse. Consider helping us out by becoming a subscriber. For Kevin Rakestraw and Ryan Holes, my name's Adam Patterson. We'll see you next week.
Yeah.